Howdy everybody, welcome to Random Things. I'm James. Today it's going to be a follow-up to a video I did a while back called Rise of the Metal Kitties, or Metal Cats, I'm not sure what I remembered it again. In it, I talked about a custom figure I had made out of some stuff I got around a dollar store, and I hinted that kind of a story to it. Well, since then I've actually put a lot of thought into it, and I kind of thought up some lore, a setting, and I've actually finally given it a goddamn name. The name I've given it is FaunAgeddon, the combination of fauna, meaning animals, and Armageddon, like the end of the world. I just wanted something to sound cool. It's a post-human apocalyptic thing. I'm not sure, because I'm making a lot of this shit up as I go along. A lot of it is just what I think sounds cool at the time. And it was that or Fauna Apocalypse, which sounds cool but really funny to say at the same time. So FaunAgeddon is the working title right now. I made some factions. I made a kind of a lore, which I'll kind of go over here in a second. I might show some of the figures, I'm not sure, but this is just going to be a video about an overview of kind of the story and the setting that I've come up so far. So without further ado, let's start talking about the setting. So the setting of it takes place on Earth in an undetermined future, completely generic, 20XX or 2XXX, some undetermined time in the future. And the big thing is that humans are gone. They are just gone. There are no human remains. There's no skeletons. There is just buildings. There's artifacts. It's like the human race simply ceased to exist. There's no reason. I haven't come up with a reason. I've thought maybe stuff like maybe they became animals. They were all abducted. Maybe someone went around collecting all the bodies to destroy them. The Pokemon Detective Pikachu movie thing where they fused with animals or something. But thing is, there are no humans. The only proof there were humans are the buildings, magazines, billboards, stuff like that we left behind. But as far as any physical evidence like bodies, records, those are all gone. And in its place, we have basically all the animals of the world are mutants. Think about house cats, the size of dogs, pygmy hippos, stuff of that nature. They're all descendants of real world animals, but slightly altered so that they can live in this place. They all talk common languages. They'll have super high intelligence, stuff of that nature. They're more dexterous with their paws and claws and stuff. And the biggest tool they have to survive is a piece of ancient technology called Vex saddles. Although there's some blueprints up I kind of made here, but basically these are special, like augmented sort of vests and saddles that seem to be compatible with all the animals in the world and allow them to do pretty cool stuff, like have robotic arms, fire guns, pilot mechs. This is the biggest set of equipment they have, and this is where basically all the weapons in combat are going to be these Vex saddles. This is the armor they wear that allows them to fight and basically operate in the world and on the game table. Almost all of them are going to have, even the magical ones have sort of a magical variant of the Vex armor. How that works, I don't know, because I'm making this shit up as I go. But that's the biggest thing. They have Vex saddles, and there's no standard. Big ones, small ones, one with one arms, one with multiple arms, one with legs. Just seems to be suited. Each one seems to be custom made for each individual animal. And on top of that, just like the human things, no one knows where they came from. Current time frame, once the setting takes place, they can make new ones themselves, but who invented it, no one knows. There's no records. Just follows back, they've always existed. Did humans make them for them? Did someone make them for the animals? No one fucking knows. But they're there, and they're the biggest tools that these animal kind freaking has at their disposal. So what is the story without characters, and what is a game without its pieces? So for this, I made a couple of factions. Right now I got 4 major ones, which we'll go over in a second. Each one has, try to make some kind of special, unique gameplay mechanic with it. Also give each an individual aesthetic. So without further ado, let's get into the main players, FaunAgeddon. First up, we have the Metal Kitties, which were referred to as the Metal Cats in my original video, but I changed it to make it sound funnier. Um, this faction is exclusively all like domestic house cats. No big jungle cats. I think it'd be funny just to have cool domestic cats. Their aesthetic is very, I guess, Mad Max meets Kiss. A lot of black and silver and white and spikes and very, I guess, I don't want to say junk looking, more, I don't know, Terminator ish. They fit the more post apocalyptic aesthetic than the other ones do. And as far as gameplay wise, they're a pretty mixed bag. You have your machine gunners, winged machine gunners, the heavy artilleries, mechs, some vehicles. They're kind of your standard jack of all trades. So with this faction, you have the option to use pretty much a little bit of everything. I guess you could say this is just kind of like the best starting faction because you can kind of wet your teeth on a little bit of everything. All with cute little cats. Next, we have the Barmy, or as I sometimes call the Barmery. This faction gets its name from barn and army. This is the very organized military group. So as you know, the Metal Kitties are kind of the like ragtag, I guess, rebels types. These are the more organized, like actual armed forces kind of thing. The barn part and their name comes from the fact that they're mostly going to be farm animals. So you think your chickens and ducks, and horses and cattle and stuff of that nature. Plus just general woodland creatures you might find here in North America, like deer, maybe squirrels and rabbits. As the name suggests, the army, they have very much the green, olive drab, stuff like that. Very uniform in their costumes. Usually a big silver star somewhere in there. As far as gameplay goes, they're very similar to the Metal Kitties, and they have a wide variety of everything. They're not necessarily like the counters to them, but they're more like the red team, blue team type of situation, so that you kind of wet your teeth and have them fight against each other on the table while having kind of similar options. On to my favorite faction, the Guild of Engineers, or the Engineering Guild. Now these guys are a lot different than the first two, as I actually did some kind of special gameplay with them. Now what distinguishes these and others is that these are kind of the heavy hitter tanks. All of them have like heavy armor. They're all in yellow with like black and white or black and yellow caution stripes. Think animals mixed with construction equipment, because that's absolutely what they are. And what makes these guys special is that in this game, terrain pieces can actually be removed or added. And that's what this entire guild is. Think about barricades and doors and walls and stuff. These guys are all about either just outright destroying them, doing bonus damage to them, or adding stuff like digging trenches that give you like a movement debuff, or creating obstacles. So I guess these guys are heavy hitting. They're slower, but they will create obstacles for you or destroy obstacles that your opponent set up. Now, lastly, and unfortunately the least, we have the Neon Icarus. Now, unfortunately, I love this faction and it's cool gameplay, but I've kind of put the least amount of work into them as far as making figures, so I apologize for that. Now, notice these guys will rock very bright oranges and some blacks and a lot of green, because these guys are the flying, fast, laser shooting faction. They're kind of a counter to the Engineering Guild, where the engineers are very slow and whatnot as tanks. These guys are the fast moving, light armor wearing, sort of, I don't know, Top Gun Mavericky type guys. What makes them really special is their special gameplay is that they can basically all fly or have some kind of jet propulsion that allows them to move super fast. And also because they can fly, they can move over terrain pieces, so barricades and stuff, fly over, shoot some lasers, fly out of range again, making them pretty deadly on the battlefield if you got a couple of these. Only problem is that they are, like I said, low HP, low armor, so they're very fast, but they can't take a lot of damage. So if you can hit them, which is hard to do, so you can take them out pretty fast. But as if they can't get multiple hits on you before then. there's sort of the overview of it all. I put a little bit of thought into some of this. Those are the 4 big factions I came up with. Now, I know during my Metal Kitty video I talked about there being some dog gangs. I haven't actually made any of those. And I also didn't talk about the fantasy line. I made sort of some sword and sorcery type stuff. That's going to be its own video in the future when I have more to talk about there. But that's it. Really, that's kind of FaunAgeddon in sort of a nutshell there. If you guys have any suggestions about animals or factions or anything you guys like, I'm always open to ideas. Leave me a comment down below. With that, guys, hey, thank you so much for coming and looking over this overview with me. This is kind of going to be an ongoing project. I've kind of put a lot of thought into. It's kind of a passion project. I know they're not very good, but I'm having fun doing it. And with you guys' support, I can kind of maybe grow this, and I can't do that without you guys. So if you like this content, please like and subscribe. If you didn't like it, leave me a thumbs down, and then tell me what you guys didn't like or what I can do better down in the comments. And with that, guys, I hope you all have a great one, and I'll hopefully see you guys in the next video.